time once again to go racing.
The pressure is really on now.
And it's pole position.
And it's pedal to the metal, go, go, go!
Well, hello and welcome wherever you are on this planet Earth. Welcome along to the greatest world championship of them all here at PSGL. We've departed the West European nations and now we head over to the East. Welcome along to China, Shanghai. Ladies and gentlemen, about 36 laps to come after a qualifying session. There'll be about 3.838 mile. The grandstands are absolutely packed and the anticipation is high. I am the Biggles, and joining me this evening for the F3 commentary is Mr. Doubles. G'day, how are you doing this evening, sir?
Yes, hello everybody, and I'm doing just fine, Biggles. It is a fine afternoon for some racing in Shanghai as we get ready for the Chinese Grand Prix. I know that we got a little bit of chatting ahead of us, so I guess, what are your questions or, statements, Biggles?
We absolutely do. I love this track, a lot of overtaking. Well, probably should go over what happened in that crazy race last week in Austria, that completely wet weather conditions, almost Belgium-ish kind of weather. That's what they would classify it as today. And that was yes, unfortunately, the stream was ended due to being a disconnection. But the results have been confirmed. And it was Mr. Nomsy in the Red Bull that took the race win.
Yeah, looks like some half points were given because of last race antics. Nomsy took the victory, and I believe the P2 was your prediction for today's race winner, Mr. 1 second there in that Williams car. And what can I say? It is a tight battle up here. I mean, the first 5 people all within 20 points of each other. I mean, great action all season, and it really is going to shape up here towards the latter half of this season.
It certainly is going to get tight. Looks like AlphaTauri still are commanding a lead in the Constructors' Champion, but Red Bull, obviously, with that hurl of points, is certainly ready to catch up, ready to start pounce on there, but just close behind them, obviously, is the Williams. Just sort of a handful of points then. Alpine as well in that 4th position. Also, g'day to everybody out there in the YouTube world. We are reading, we're listening, and thank you very much for tuning in. So there's the calendar as well. We currently are in China. The Japan will be replaced out by Portimao now. Yep,
Portimao coming in there for the next race. And of course, it came out just a couple of weeks ago on the F1 game, as everybody's been racing it all over the place, and it's really great action. But let's not get ahead of ourselves, Biggles. We do have a Chinese Grand Prix to conduct today, so that'll be fun to watch. And yes, I do want to clarify something. Neon pointed it out right there. 16 is full points, so it wasn't half points, it was full points. I apologize to everybody out there in the chat, and thank you, Neon, for pointing that out to me.
Yeah, good job there, Neon. Nothing gets past Neon out there in the Twitch, the YouTube chat. He's switched on. Neon obviously is an F2 driver. That'll be coming up soon, actually, as well. So you've got pretty much a nice evening or day wherever you are in the world of action-packed racing. Of course, you have the Top Guns of the F1 tomorrow with Mr. George Morgan. That's in the chat there as well. So g'day to one of the best commentators on the absolute planet. My prediction, as you mentioned there, is 1 second. He's been on a really good roll currently at the moment, obviously leading the championship too. Your prediction out there is a bit of a wild one there, Belzy. You know something I don't know?
Well, I'm putting my faith in somebody that I'm not really positive. I don't see them on the standings for the driver standings, and really hoping that he is racing today. If somebody could clarify who that is. Simon Rigney. He was looking strong last week in Austria, and I think I'm really putting my faith in a man to be strong in this week's race.
Yes, yeah, you're backing one of those drivers, and it would be good to see. And this track as well, you are a race driver, which I like to have, obviously, the race drivers with experience in the booth, because I'm not one. I don't have a track guide, unfortunately, to show you. Most of you guys out there are very much aware, because most people are drivers. The main streets in China definitely produce a lot of overtaking, don't they?
Oh, of course. Definitely down the main straight, you have the DRS zone, the first one, and going into the turn 1 and turn 2. If you can really maneuver the car around that little mushroom style turn there of turn 1 and turn 2, I apologize for that little bit of burst there, and get in tight, can provide some great side-by-side action through the first sector and down into the hairpin of turn 6 as well. Just starting out, the sector 2 is really where we're going to see some overtakes as well. Some heavy braking action into there, and as long as you get a good exit, you line yourself up for 7, 8, and 9, as well as 10. Rounding out the second sector into 11, another little mushroom style exit, this time of 12 and 13 down the big long main, well, not the main straight, but the back straight, that is, with DRS about a quarter of the way down, and you're going to be holding that all the way down into the hairpin of turn 14, the exit of 15, and finally the 16, the left-hander back onto the main straight.
Fantastic. It's a 50% race, so about 36 laps that the drivers will do. What is the ultimate strategy for tires, would you say?
Ooh, that is extremely tough, as I really haven't raced a 50% on this game, but we do know that the tires are a little bit different in this year's games. I do know that you could soft-hard it in last year's game and roughly get away with a decent race, so I expect it to be roughly the same, if not a medium hard, if you really want to, push the pace and not have to worry too much about tire wear. But this track definitely demanding on the tires, as any track with a bunch of long turns will be.
There you go. What if you guys in the YouTube world there can also confirm that one? We know that there are some drivers there. We know Neon, and some of you are the gladiators out there can confirm some of those strategies. Sorry, my apologies. Not 36 laps. So it'll be 28 laps. I'll get something right today. It's dynamic weather. We experienced that last week with the full wet conditions. Well, intermediate conditions. No dry tires were used at all around Austria. So I wonder if we're going to see some sort of similar situation today. There's been a lot of wet weather races, obviously, even in the real world. It's just been one of those seasons, hasn't it, Mr. Burles?
Yeah, and of course, when you have those wet weather races, like you did at Austria, it really provides some great action, because it's a lot more on the driver's skill, what they can do to maneuver that car in the wet conditions. It really just starts to shine on what these drivers can make out of the cars given to them. And in China, I don't think it rains nearly as much as what it would be in Austria, but a wet race would definitely make things really interesting.
And especially in that standings as well that we'd mentioned over there, because it's getting so close. With after this race, you're going to be down to just 4 rounds remaining in this season. So this is the crunch time right now, where you've got to basically get points. You've got to finish the race. 1 or 2 of those points are going to make all the difference, even if you are plump last. Got to bring the car home. Anything can happen. Anything does happen in Formula 1. You see it very often.
Yeah. Yeah, obviously it's such a tight fight in the driver's standings. Really anybody, even down to like P20, is still in this fight, and it could really change over the next 5 races. Of course, as Neon mentioned there earlier, it's only 16 points, so I had to change my math a little bit on that. But especially the top 7 drivers out of all is really going to be a good fight, as they are just separated by 27 points collectively. So that'll be really interesting to see how it pans out.
Yeah, we're waiting for those drivers. We will be getting underway soon. We're just waiting for all the drivers to get into the lobby and get into their cars. They're waiting for their car seat fittings, per se.
They do that at the beginning of the season, Biggles.
Yes, they did that at the beginning of the season. You could probably join on me as well there, Bellsy.
All right, I will get that underway. Find you here.
Yeah, so
All right.
1 second. I hope he's going to live up to my prediction there as well. In case you guys had missed that one, that was absolutely fantastic close. So these races have been really close down to the wire. And in the standings there, 1 second had won by 1 second in Belgium, in Spa. So I'm going to keep mentioning that for the rest of the season.
Oh yeah, this could really be nice, and something that I'm not seeing as of right now is I don't know if I see my prediction, so I might have to change that. There is a late second notice. Of course, we'll wait for the race to start for that to happen. And 28 laps of Shanghai, well, get ready to happen.
You're not going to wait till the 28th lap and give me your prediction, are you?
No, I couldn't do that. Maybe after qualifying. Maybe I'll play a little cheeky there and get it done in between qualifying. And Win Yinke, I think that name is. This is both. We do have the qualifying session just before the race.
Yes.
So you will see that, well, both of those.
Exactly. We do have it's a short qualifying session, so it's just a short. How many, what's it? 12 minutes or so? 15.
18 minutes.
18. There you go. Thank you very much. That's where I rely on drivers to give me that information of qualifying. The F1 tomorrow with the Top Guns, they will go through the full qualifying session. Is certainly at that level, but these guys are at that level of pace. You got to remember, this is the F3 division, so you're looking at the 60 also fastest drivers on the planet. So they are absolutely no slouches, and even some people out there were saying Mr. Luke Smith, aka Vexit, should be an F2. Well, he's not.
Well, I see somebody out there in chat, but that wants a little shout out from you. You want to make a viewer happy.
Oh, the Shower Company? Well, g'day.
No, a shout out.
The shout out, yes. No, but it's from the Shower Company.
I see that now.
He shouts out to RRL Clinton Cole.
Yes, of course. He is one of my good friends there from South Africa, actually, and he is a quick driver. Now, obviously, being PSGL, like you were mentioning before, you said, this is F3, so you have the F2 league just above it, and then, of course, the F1 guys, all the esports guys, essentially, that are just top-notch esports level. I mean, they're quick, to say the least. But PSGL, being one of the biggest, if not the biggest league in all of F1 esports, obviously these guys are insanely quick. I can't wait for this race to get underway.
You're quite quick yourself. Or would you put yourself in that level of competition next to these guys?
F10.
F10. Okay, fair enough. I think you're downgrading yourself just a little bit. We're still waiting for the drivers to lobby up, getting ready for the qualifying session here in Shanghai. This very obviously Shanghai is massive. You got city-states of like Bahrain. Well, you could fit the whole country of Bahrain inside of Shanghai 5 times over, to give you an idea of the size of how massive Shanghai is.
Yep. I do apologize. I was hearing somebody in the lobby chat. Let me just mute that up real quick. And I also think that Neon, just a little bit ago, was talking about, I think it was Namzi, that is Simon Perigny. I'm not mistaken, Neon. If you could clarify that. I might have been looking at something else. But Matthew, we are getting ready to get underway.
Yeah, no problems that I know of at the moment, Matthew. So, touch wood, everything's good.
Yeah, I'll knock on wood. I can do that.
Yeah, but Bells is not the regular commentator. Obviously, the regular commentators are Scruffy and Daniel. They'll both be back next week. Bells is just stepping in one time. Went to give a bit of a flight over here to China and a bit of a spin in the commentary box with me.
Oh, of course.
So,
I love I love commentating with you because as some of these guys may know us from other leagues. I'm not positive, but commentating with you is enjoyable, and I try to bring my best every time that I'm with you in the booth.
Fantastic. Hopefully, we'll both definitely bring our best, as most of the team at PSGL do that. So many different racing leagues as well here, and you've also got the F2 coming up. You've got the PlayStation divisions. The F1 tomorrow is going to be finishing the season a little earlier, obviously because those esport drivers are going to get ready for their actual esport competition. that will be occurring. So they've got to do that. So make sure you definitely tune into that, because it's going to come down to the title decider tomorrow. And obviously, we all know the man that could probably run away with that one. One of the quickest Dutchmen on the planet, the Flying Dutchman.
Yeah, somebody that I saw names of already in the chat. Actually, pretty much as soon as we started the chat, Mr. Yarno Opmir. Extremely quick and extremely well known across all of F1 esports.
Yeah, he's moved to the United Kingdom as well, getting ready for that championship. Take it very seriously, why not? He's pretty much the quickest driver on the planet, not a problem. That's the big C. That's Connor out there, the man that's the boss. That says welcome to the Desync Gaming Leagues. Don't curse it there, Connor. I think we might be all good here.
Don't curse that, man. It's my first time in the booth. I want a clean race, obviously. I want action-packed, non-stop action even, of great racing. That's what I'm here to see. That's what I'm here to commentate as well.
There you go.
I'm just waiting on this lobby to start up here soon. There's Mr. Javier, actually. Another one of my good friends.
Yes, the Clubian. Used to be, a.k.a. known, the fastest keyboard driver on the planet. Or used to be. He's got a wheel now. And he's really getting into some of that different motor racing.
Yeah, obviously, I see everybody out there in chat. And we'll see how it goes. And there's Big C asking, who wants Biggles and the Burls on the F1 PC? That would be an honor, to say the least.
I don't think my voice could handle it. It's practically dying at the moment. I think I commentate too much. Although lately, I've had a bit of a break there. I think you have too, Belsy, because there's been a bit of a pause. Nothing at PSGL is worried about at the moment. It's still game on, race on, and we're going to get ready for some qualifying on too. So what I will do is just do a little qualifying introduction, and we'll be back in just a minute. I'm muted at the moment. There it is. Forget about that. Welcome along to Shanghai, to PSGL F3. And it's sunshine here. So, yes, these drivers are going to be absolutely stoked that they're not going to have wet weather conditions at this point, at this moment, at least. And I am the Biggles and Belsy in the commentary box. You guys heard us just before in the pre-show. Looking forward to this qualifying session of 17 or so minutes to go. Belsy, do you expect some of the drivers to go out there and put some mediums on there, or straight to the softs and put the hot laps in?
I really think that a lot of these guys are going to go out on the soft tires, at least at the beginning. You know, they might not exactly put down their quickest laps, but if they can qualify on the mediums, as obviously as everybody has seen, or anybody that's known in the F1, if you can drag those out and start up higher, you are perfectly set for the race ahead.
Yeah, apologies about that for being muted there for a second. I usually mute myself, but thankfully it wasn't too long. And you get to see the track. I'll actually pull up that real quick there for you guys out there. I have all the telemetry information, but I keep forgetting that you guys don't. Also put up that telemetry information that we'll have during the qualifying session. I won't show it during the race, so that all those engineers out there can't sneak that information and provide it to their drivers, because at this level of competition, a lot of these drivers do have engineers. And give us a shout out there as well, guys, if you are an engineer or working with some of those drivers. Perhaps you can give us some inside information as to what's going on. As we're on board with Alp in the Ferrari, about to be one of the first drivers across, and you can give us a hot lap in a second. Actually, he's down the back. Very, very back long straight, one of the longest in the Formula One calendar. certainly going to be a massive amount of overtaking opportunities in this one, isn't it, Belzy, when you get down to that corner for DRS open? That turn 14 hairpin.
Yeah, apologies there. It really depends on the exit that you get out of turn 13, well, 12 and 13, if you really combine those two together. Yes, out getting ready to start his flying lap. Gets a good exit, and that DRS is wide open now coming to the starting line. It is a nice long straight down in here to turn 1. It's really all about the trail braking. Lower the gears as fast, not quite as fast as you can, but really just get it slowed down for that one little right-hander there. Back to a left-hander and get the strong power on the exit. Of course, you don't want too much power because you will spin there. Now into turn 5 and into the hairpin of turn 6, braking just after the 100 there. Nice and tidy on the apex. There's a nice little Red Bull there off to the side, letting him go by. Through turn 7, he always starts to lose it, and there it goes around.
Yeah, oops. Bit of pressure, I guess, from Belzy. Trying to kind of give him a hot lap. So it's unfortunate. A bit of commentator's curse coming thick and fast already. Let's go to one of the other drivers a little bit further back and see. And that will be the Alpine driver. Is that Grund? Grund. Grund. Yeah, some of these drivers did change their names. Everybody knows that I'm absolutely notoriously known for destroying poor drivers' names. So apologies for that one out there. Gotta leave that to the experts of George Morgan and all the other fantastic commentary team. Jess as well at PSGL.
Yeah, obviously those guys are the top-notch guys, being the F1. You can see now Grun coming around that turn 7 and back into the turn 8. Little right-hander setting himself up for turn 9 and turn 10. A nice little double left-hander where you want to get on the power roughly right in between the two. And keep it on track right around 75 meters for that braking zone. Hug that apex as there goes John with the one and only lap of the session so far. Getting a little squirrely on the exit is this Alpine driver. But around 13, we got the massive, long, straight, the DRS right there. Wide open. As you give us just a second, we'll get to the braking zone right about now. There it is, braking at the 100, nice and tight. A little bit of a lock up there on the front right. I apologize for my mouth not working as Vexit sets the fastest lap of the session. The 1:32.1, but the Alpine driver is going to come across the line with a 33.2. We'll see if he decides to go out for another lap right away. And it appears that he is going to do so.
Yeah, they can, right? The mediums, as you can see, those mediums are top 4 at the moment, but I think Luke is going to be looking at getting, not that great actually, made a mistake. Actually backed off somewhere, showing a 57.8 on the soft tires. I guess he did not want to set that lap, obviously, on the softs just yet. And take advantage, perhaps, of those medium times. And as you can see, if he goes, okay, well, if everybody's going to do those mediums and see, oh, we've lost Vexit. And that's AKA Luke Smith. And that's out of turn 7. I think I'm just going to go back to an Alfa Romeo if I can see where that car is. You can see it on the track map.
It appears that it is already gone. Kersey coming in there with a 32.4 for the second highest lap of the day so far. Of course, there's 12 minutes left in this qualifying session as we try to find somebody else to go on board with.
Absolutely interesting what's happened at that point. I'm not seeing anything from the race control saying the car was terminally damaged. It was a disconnection issue. That's very unfortunate for Mr. Luke Smith. He won't be able to set a faster time than that, and that's going to put him in some serious trouble.
Yeah, Mr. 1 second, your little predicted winner there now on a hot lap as he shows for me a purple sector 1. Still working on getting all my telemetry stuff up and going here, so
we're
you
going
want to switch over to him.
Yes, we are on board with the Williams driver of 1 second, and he's also going on to those mediums, so he's not messing around just yet. Why not? It's early days. You can see what sort of times that they're going to be pushing in. Oh, there is a massive oversteer moment. You saw that. He kept it out of the barriers. Very lucky. Definitely, I guarantee you right now, if we put a heart rate monitor on that driver, it would definitely be more than 1 second. How many
Yeah, and
beats
then
per
the
second? Sorry, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, apologies there for cutting you off, but while we were chit-chatting there, Mr. Luca comes in with a fast lap of the session by almost a full second. He is on the soft tires, and he will probably go out again, so we get to see those times come down even farther. Half the field yet to set a lap, and hopefully these guys start really pushing the limits and setting those fastest laps and really putting the pressure on these guys at the top to improve their time as well.
And I guess there's absolutely nothing wrong with setting some of those quick times on those mediums just to get those bankers in. And then obviously you got plenty of time to get back into the pits there and switch over to those red stripe tires. Look at a tight corner here as it just twists. I love it. It's one of my favorites. Different multiple racing lines you can take in there. Certainly a lot of overtaking opportunities. It is actually a Chinese symbol. Not quite sure specifically what it is. Maybe you guys in chat do know what it is. Specifically, some of the chat out there, people were talking about stay off the curbs, off the chicanes, for sure. So Mr. Carter out there is giving some cash flow there to PSGL. I believe that was a donation. Thank you very much for that. So I think we'll drop back to the, there you go, of Simon. So here's your prediction right now. This man in the Red Bull, currently at the moment, is the fastest driver on the track.
That is exactly what I like to see. And of course, he's in the Red Bull, one of the quickest drivers on the track. There's some yellow flags on track, just letting some others through. And let's see what Mr. Simon can do now. Just a third sector. He's already got 2 purples, so can he make it a third one and take the provisional pole here with 9 minutes left in the qualifying session? Just one more turn to go as he keeps it validated. DRS wide open, and he will cross the line with a 130.7. 5 tenths faster than the Aston Martin behind him.
Yeah, huge gaps at the moment you can see between the drivers, but those are going to start tumbling pretty quickly once the drivers all switch over to the softs now. The business end of that qualifying, those bankers are over. It's time to get down to where it really counts with 8 minutes and change to go in this qualifying session. As we're just checking the Ferrari driver of Alp there, currently in P3, with just almost under a second down. And everybody else is either coming in on their cool down laps or on starting their out laps. I think we'll go to Mr. Carter at the moment. That was in the chat. I think he was in the chat and not driving. But he's driving that car right now, and he's warming that car up right now, getting ready. How important is it to get that temperature in the tires there, Bells?
Oh, it's very important. You don't want to go around turn 1 with some cold tires, because all you're going to do is understeer and go straight off the track. And obviously invalidate on the very first corner. Actually, well, the first 2 corners, as that is classified as 2 corners. But you also don't want to get them too hot, because if you get them too hot, well, then you might just lose the rear around there as well. So it really is important to get those tires into the optimal tire temperature to set up for your lap.
Fantastic. And then you could see there on the screen, as he's up into 7th gear, getting on the power, not too much, but he's backing off, or it's a rev glitch that we're having. That ERS deployment, which is obviously very important. You don't have the fuel management like you had in the last game. It's just basically one mix. Where do you deploy? What is the ultimate kind of strategy to deploy that battery?
Well, here in qualifying session, it is actually
that's right. You can't
locked.
use it. Sorry, my apologies on that. Qualifying, yeah.
But during the race, when you really want to use that, is mainly out of slow turn exits. You want to get that car up to speed as fast as possible, because when you get up to speed, that is really when you're going to gain a lot of the time. And if you can do that quickly, that'll just show massive amounts. And especially out of that turn 13 right there, if you can get it down with the ERS there and keep your car safe and not spinning around, you are really setting yourself up for a good opportunity at an overtake into this turn right there, Mr. Turn 14.
He backed off on that, and sorry I missed that, but John TF1 managed to get himself up into P3 there. You can see those times now, 2 tenths and 3 tenths off Simon's fantastic lap. That's a 130.7. Expecting to see those drivers in the 127s as the track starts to gripping up. Oh, and there is, well, that's Manlon, I think, yeah, just getting completely out of the way. I saw a Alpine car, I think it was, off into the background a little bit earlier. But he's out of the barriers, not in the barriers, so he's safe. Yeah,
actually, I think that was Mr. Grund, the man that we were on board with a little bit ago. Fortunately, spun it there at the exit of turn 13. And Biggles, I do want to mention one thing. I don't think we're going to see any 127s, especially since they updated the cars.
Oh, sorry, 129s, I mean.
slowers.
Yeah, my apologies, not the 27s. We're aboard a Haas driver, a Cookie, and who has yet to set a time. Let's see what sort of first time he's going to. Straight out and onto the softs as well, not messing about, so certainly with this late stages of qualifying. And this feels good, basically up to 8th gear. And you can't really much go any faster than that. You can't tweak the gearbox as well, but you can tweak the aero. And there you go. Spot the 100 right there. Or was it 50? Between the 50 and the 100, depending on what the driver wants to take. That's a lovely corner to get it right. Ooh. And not do it like that, unfortunately, for Cookie. And how much time is that going to cost him?
It's going to be close if he can get in and out for another lap. We're nearing 5 minutes left in the qualifying session, and given a minute and 30 around, he's definitely going to be pushing to get back into the pits in time, get that car back into the garage and refueled and come back out for another lap.
And that's that little fuel indicator that you see that's flashing. It means he's missed the gas station. He needs to get some more fuel in that car. It's like he's not in the United Kingdom at the moment, isn't he? I don't think we're bringing any politics up. Not politics, but apparently the shortages of things that are occurring in the United Kingdom. And a shout out to everybody there in the UK. We are here in China.
Yeah, WOR Mr. Moon leading it away so far with a 130.752. Just 14 thousandths of a second in front of Mr. Simon there in the Red Bull, who is about a 10th there up on Luca, as Luca has set a faster lap time. And I think your predictor, Mr. 1 second, is getting ready to start a flying lap. All he's got to do is go around 11, 12, 13. He'll be on that back straight. He is on the medium tires. Interesting strategy here out of the Williams driver. We'll see if he goes for 2 laps or just 1.
You're right. You can see the fuel tank is not flashing red, so he's obviously filled it up to allow that. I actually forgot to get Moon's lap there, so I apologize about that. That's because Moon didn't set any purple sectors. It was a little hard to follow that one. He snuck it in there. He snuck it in on without me catching him across that line. So good on the Alfa Romeo driver, as I think 1 second's just getting ready to go. Now he's going to be on that loud pedal as loud as he possibly can through the final couple of corners. Now, is exactly what you said. All he has to do is just basically do this for 15 corners, quicker than everybody else, and you're going to get that. You'll be on pole. It sounds simple, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sounds simple. It's a little bit easier said than done. And especially on the medium tires, if he does pull away a pole lap on these medium tires, I think we're going to see a great race out of that man driving behind that car.
Yeah, if he pulls a pole out of those tires, then he should be knocking on esports doors anytime soon. Of course, these are esports drivers as well. Esports, pace, talent. As I said, we are in the F3 division, and these are, you got the F2, that race that's starting soon, and the F1 tomorrow, and the 60th of the quickest drivers on the planet. At the moment, we have 16 here for the qualifying session. 2 minutes and change to go as we're on board. 1 second. Not messing around. Oh, there's an invalidation. So he has to box right now, doesn't he, Burlsy? Does he have enough time?
If he has enough fuel, I could see him going for another lap.
Yeah, you're right. He can do 2 laps.
Yeah, especially given the fact that he was able to back off, and he can probably regain a lot of that battery as he's still sitting around 90%. So I think we'll see 1 second go out at least for another lap. As I'm getting a nice little bug in game. See how that goes. Mr. Alp, the Ferrari P6.
A lot of traffic. Massive amount of traffic at the moment. You can see around turn 5 and 6. It's almost like an Italian Grand Prix qualifying session. And the real F1, but it's not. They're all bunched up there. As you can see on that track map to your right, where those cars are as we're on board at the Red Bull. And those local yellows are just because those drivers are really just getting it out of the way, making sure they're not holding up anybody's fastest lap, because everybody you can see, look at all those out laps. Because as the track grippers up, you want to be last across the line.
Yeah, obviously, when the track is this late into the qualifying session, you're going to have all the rubber set down from all those other lap times and all the tires. And this is really when you want to get out. Simon looks to be one of the first guys out, and they're nearing the end here.
Jake Finch, I think, will go over to at the moment the McLaren. He's going to be one of the first drivers to set the final lap of the qualifying session as he navigates his way down into that tricky section through turns 1, 2, and 3. And now on this little bit of a straight, not too much. There's a bit of a kink, actually. It's turn 5 right there. And then you're going to be into the heavy braking of 6. So his first sector is a 23.96. 23.90 is the fastest. So he's right on the money.
It is going to be close. He's roughly 6 hundredths away from that purple sector. Of course, you can make that up over the course of this lap as he does set a very nice sector 2. Unfortunately, not quite a purple, but a 27.1. Definitely respectable. See what he's going to be able to do. Of course, down this main straight, you're not going to be gaining a whole lot of time. We'll see into this braking zone if he tries to push it just a little bit. Try to get that car stopped in time. Down into turn 14, hits that curb nice. And it gets a strong exit through 15 and into 16. Nice use of the exit, and he will come across the line with a 30.795. So we have 3 drivers currently in the 130.7s. 5 drivers down there at the bottom that might be able to improve their time. Of course, Simon Perigny, who is currently up on his time. We'll see him cross the line with a 130.4, and that is good enough for your provisional pole.
Yeah, he could be the man you picked it, but I think Moon might be a little bit quicker. We'll see. Oh, it's going to be very, very tight at the moment. You can see the traction, how it grips up a little bit. And it's very tight at the top. You can see those deltas. Let's see if Moon's going to steal this one back away from Simon. No, he won't. So he'll have to settle for that P2. It's just as good as a P1 in this game. But still, the braking rights, obviously, didn't break the 29s. I don't think anybody but Simon. Have a look at that gap there, Belzy. You got 5, just under a half a second between the top 6.
Yeah, definitely some great racing has coming our way. Of course, like you said, starting in P2, especially at a track like this, going into that right-hand turn, you could really get up next to that pole sitter. And that pole sitter today is Mr. Simon Perigny, the Red Bull driver with a 130.4, followed by Mr. Moon in the Alfa Romeo, and Jake Finch will be your 3rd and final spot there. You got John in P4 and Luca in the 5th spot. You got Leonard Alp Ozaka, I believe that is it, Mr. Kersey Grund, and Mentalism Johan to round out the top 10. Primo is what his name is. I saw you say something else earlier. JST in P12, 1 second, and 13th, Mr. Carter, Vexit, and Menelin will round out the rest of these 16 drivers. So we have an exciting race to get underway here soon.
Yeah, Vexit as well, aka Luke Smith, not doing a fantastic job in his qualifying, so he's got a bit of work to do to get on with that. There's your standings, currently 4th. And he finished 2nd place in that last race. So it's going to be very, very interesting as we're going to get ready for the race, for at least the formation lap. And we got a few people out there in the YouTube chat getting excited for this one, as I certainly am. The Biggles and Mr. Belzy here for a one-time exclusive appearance here in PSGL.
Oh, I was going to say, are we switching sessions?
It does look like that. I am getting something. Well, I guess, you know what? If there are any issues, let's get it over and done with before the race starts. That's what I think at the end of the day. We'll go over to a intermission screen, and we'll get back to you about that in a second. So don't go anywhere, guys. We'll sort out what's going to happen. Well, welcome back, everybody. We're just getting ready for a lobby restart. And I'm the Biggles, and there's the Bells. And that's exactly what's happening out there, guys. So we didn't want to keep you in the dark for too long. But trust me, don't worry about it. We've had our qualifying session. And we're just waiting for the race to get underway. And they're setting up the lobbies and make sure all those drivers are back into those grid positions that they established during the qualifying session. And speaking of that qualifying session, Belsy, what did you think about that?
Oh, I mean, it was definitely a very interesting and great to see all the different, well, there was a couple different tire strategies that was trying to be employed there. And of course, Mr. Simon Prigny taking the pole position, which was great because that's my vote. Put my faith in that Red Bull driver. But yes, essentially all we're doing is restarting the lobby. We're trying to cut back and make sure that we don't get the bugs that have been plaguing this game over the past few weeks. And trying to get some great action underway.
Exactly, just like last week in the Austrian race. That was a fantastic race as well, which were the reason why there was points awarded to it, because we pretty much got majority of the way through that race. I'm not sure if it was just a spectator glitch as well too, where both the spectators, myself and Scruffy, got kicked out of that game session. But however, the points were essentially overall awarded. And there are the driver standings once again while we're waiting for the lobby to restart.
No, don't want to mess you up or anything, but I did see on the stream there that you were playing some music in the background. Oh, there it is. There's the standings, at least on my view of it. So hopefully that music is toned down just a little bit. But yes, Austria, which turned out to be just a fantastic race in the wet. Always fun to watch.
Not fun to drive, no doubt, for some of those drivers.
I absolutely love driving in the wet. It just makes it that much more interesting. I'm always on edge, essentially, as you really need to be in these cars. And given the wet conditions and just how slippery it can be, it really makes things interesting and fun, at least in my eyes.
It's also a great situation for some of those drivers that do practice and put a lot of effort into the wet and try to take an advantage of a situation where perhaps they're not the quickest on the planet when it comes to the dry conditions. However, in the wet conditions, they might be a bit of a wet weather master, just as you said so yourself there, that you love driving in the wet, which no doubt there, Mr. Bells, you're probably a little quicker than, per se, some of the other drivers, as we're going to get ready for a race start, for a formation lap at least, so we can go back over those grids for you guys out there. Thank you for hanging with us or sticking with us during this lobby restart, so we can iron out all those bugs and get ready for some fantastic racing here around Shanghai.
Yeah, Shanghai, such a fantastic circuit to drive on. I'm hopefully getting some great action in the day, because I want to commentate some great action. That is what makes it fun.
Yes, we're going to get ready for the players there to be loaded in. Yeah, exactly, mate. You're going to make your way across the Pacific to China. Going to be worthwhile. These drivers are going to bring it this evening, so we'll bring you the entertainment. As Rummy out there is chatting, and I can't pronounce that language, my friend. Quite sure. It looks German. Actually, no, there's some other symbols in there as well. I'm not quite sure. Anyway, thank you very much for tuning in. Sunshine conditions, that's what it was predicted for the race, and they've set that as well, so don't expect any rain. We'll leave that back in Austria, we'll leave that back in Belgium in the real F1.
Matthew asking, says, I know that we're far from it, but how long do we wait before the race is canceled? That is ultimately not up to us. I think he's asking the moderators in the chat and others like that.
Yes, Matthew, don't jinx it. We'll be okay.
Knock on wood, buddy.
Not going to happen, Matthew. Our predictions for the day will be sunshine and good wheel-to-wheel racing here in China. That's my predictions, hopefully. As you can see, some of those drivers up there on top of the paddock pass. Well, the paddock pass is actually just above the pit lane garages there. If you've got a few $1,000s in your pocket or you get an invitation, that's where you would be sitting in there in the air-conditioned comfort. But they're getting ready for a racing, it looks like, immediately, Belsy. Catch you off guard on that one.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that came out of nowhere. I apologize for that. But yes, we are underway. Simon Perigny leading it away from Moon and Jake Finch. And man, oh man, what a launch did he get into turn 1 and through turn 2. But I tell you what, Moon coming back strong, taking that inside line into turn 2. Through turn 3, the Red Bull driver does lead the way. The Alfa Romeo just behind him. There's a little bit of fighting between Luca and the Mercedes of John TF1. Kersey has moved up. Mentalism has also moved up in the Haas car. There is a yellow flag in Sector 2 as there appears to be, I believe that is a Mercedes off. That is unfortunate for that man, Mr. Alp, the Ferrari driver down there in P11, dropping a couple of places as well as he has went off around the outside of turn 7. Super unfortunate. Are we going to get any safety cars? No, I do not believe that we are. Simon still leading the way from Moon, from Jake as well. Now coming through 12 and 13 and getting ready for this long straight as we have another yellow flag, and that is Mentalism Johan the Haas currently off.
I think John TF1 and Carly just had a bit of a tap together. Then I realized that they're teammates. And let's say they want to be Lewis Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas. Exactly. Luke has dropped a lot of positions, but no, just local yellows at the moment. Down that massive long straight. We still have Simon leading from Moon and Jake. There's your position gainers and losers. And it looks like John TF1 still have a bit of a tangle. Go back on P11 and P12. Yes, they are 3 abreast actually into that corner. Both the Williams are getting involved in this one. So they're powered by a Mercedes engine. And the Mercedes are also tangling in that, as you can see that. So, wow. Mercedes and Williams. And just ignore the usual telemetry glitches that occur currently at the moment on lap 2. It'll all switch itself around. Sorry, they just, PSGL wanted to test to see how ready you were to commentate that race start. Look how close they are too between the Ferrari now. So I'm not quite sure if that Williams has damage, but he's dropping places like the 929 Stock Exchange.
Yeah, they definitely wanted to test if I was ready to go. And to be honest, they caught me off guard. I was not ready to go. You can see there, Simon still leading the way from Moon, from Jake, Luca, and Leonard. There was a little bit of action as JST moved himself up into P10 on the medium tires, staying out in front of the Mercedes, who was actually on the soft tires, but the man, I think, just behind him on the hards. In P12, that is Manolin. He's doing a great job. He was keeping up decently well there in the Williams. His teammate unfortunately dropped all the way down to P15 as he had to go into the pits. But this could be fun going down into turn 14. I heard you there, Biggles, but Moon is creeping close to the Red Bull. And the Red Bull is getting a little bit defensive. But Moon taking that inside line. Is he going to be the late breaker? No, he will not. He stays just behind him.
Yeah, he thought about it there for a second, but not just yet. But they've got to get on with it. Jake Finch is coming to join this party at the front. Well, Leonard's just falling out of that DRS, and then Cozy's out. A bit of a lonely world, but he has a bit of company coming. But it's going to be interesting right now, isn't it? The time to pounce, make an opportunity. That DRS tow is almighty, about 17 kilometers an hour. There's a local yellow. I think that's for 1 second. I'm not quite sure, actually, in the background. You'll see.
No, that is actually for John TF1. He pulled a Lewis Hamilton. No, actually, he did not. Be more along the lines of Alexander Albon there at turn 16. Fortunately, going wide. And I am seeing reports out there in the YouTube chat that there is a little bit of a desync issue. And we will wait to see what comes of that. But as of right now, we still have a race to keep our eyes on. Luca is creeping close to the McLaren driver in front of him with Jake Finch. Is he going to be able to make a move here through turn 9 and turn 10? No, he will not.
Mr. Vexit at the moment is not too bad. They're at P8 and on those medium tires, catching Cookie pretty quickly. Not to mention, we all know that Mr. Vexit, aka Luke Smith, had a pretty poor qualifying session, but check out where his car at Aston Martin is right now. 7 positions gained, currently up in a P8 and looking to take a P7.
Oh, I don't want to cut you off there, Biggles, but Luca has moved himself up into P3 after we do have the DRS has been enabled here on lap 3. And Luca in the Aston Martin will take that 3rd position away from Jake Finch.
Well, I'm not even getting that on the telemetry that I'm seeing at the moment, so apologies about that. When you said Luca shows P14 for me.
Well, then I do believe that we do have desync issues. And I will try to keep an eye on your battles as well as mine.
Yes, we've had that problem before, unfortunately. Hopefully I'm okay for the broadcast, but we'll see. As I'm getting telemetry glitches all over the place once again, so we're now showing Luca in P2. So we're not quite sure what's going on. Please bear with us, guys. You've been through this before. We're a family. That's what we love about PSGL. We've all been through it. The passion of F1. You just put up with this currently at the moment.
Yeah, obviously, we're not quite sure as to which race is the correct one. But Luca appears to be going on his way. He appeared to not, go through Jake. So I think he's sitting in P3. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I'm showing. What I'm going to do currently at the moment is just go to an intermission screen really briefly, and then I'm going to come back in and see if that sometimes that fixes it up. So just bear with me for 1 minute, guys. We'll get that sorted out. Welcome back, everybody. Sorry about that. A little bit of a pause there. Trying to just sort out if there's any lobby glitches at the moment. Still showing me at the moment. There's a Red Bull leading this race of Simon from Moon from Luca. And that was a Luca that you were mentioning before that I could not see properly on the broadcast. But we bring Luca back. Well, we bring Luca back to where he's supposed to be. Currently in P3, getting 2 positions just ahead of Jake. You should be okay on that one there, Belsy. I'm the Biggles. Thank you for keeping calm. Remaining relaxed here in Shanghai.
Yeah, obviously, we want to bring the best broadcast that we can to you. And unfortunately, we've been hit with a little bit of issues there. I do see, I believe that is a Ferrari of Alp that has unfortunately spun it out at the end of turn 13. I don't think I see that on your screen, unfortunately, but that could just be because a little bit behind is actually he just went into the wall and unfortunately DNF'd.
Interesting Cody's angle right there. So that's the first time ever in my broadcasting career that I've ever seen a rear view camera angle of a car crashing into a wall. So there you go.
That actually brought out a full safety car.
It has brought out full safety car. So this is going to be a perfect opportunity for the likes of Simon and those guys on the soft tires. But they're into the second sector. You definitely get rid of those soft tires right now, wouldn't you, Belsy? And what about the other medium runners? Should they also do the same thing?
It's really hard to say. I'm trying to scroll through everything here and see if I can't find some tire info. Of course, on the soft tires, you're going to want to get off of those because the soft tires, they don't seem to last a whole lot here at China. I think we'll see a couple drivers maybe even go onto the mediums and try out a 2-stop strategy, as we are still fairly early into this race, only lap 6 to 28, and we'll see what these gentlemen decide to do.
Exactly. It should not be a safety car out there, Matthew, but it is what it is. That's been the recent thing. So JST, I just came back into the lobby when JST, as I think I saw the AlphaTauri have a bit of a crash, but I'm not quite sure if that was a desync issue. Quite sure if JST is out there in the YouTube world can let us know what happened. We saw what happened with the Ferrari, obviously, of Alp, which caused that safety car, even though that car was parked off the side. But, you know, it's... the game dictates, maybe the FIA knows something that we don't know, and they deemed it to be unsafe, as we're going to see those drivers boxing right now. A bit of a tricky pit lane entrance there as well, too. You can slap it into that wall if you don't get it right. Did not lure Lewis Hamilton into the pit lane entrance, or was that too early?
Oh, that is just fine, of course. I believe that was, 2009? He went into the gravel trap there, beached his car, unfortunately. But actually, I was just looking there at Mr. Simon's pit stop. This is going to be interesting because he got held up just a little bit. I believe Moon actually overtakes him in the pit lane.
He did. Good call. Absolutely good call. That's why I love having Mr. Belziad here. Yeah, nothing gets past you, my friend. You're switched on the money there. So, yes, there's a bit of a switcheroo occurring, and that means Moon is in the lead of this race from, well, your man that's predicted it, but still absolutely early days on lap 7 under a safety car. Luca into that P3. On the hard tyres, interesting strategy.
Yeah, and I've seen another person that I believe is desynced. I keep seeing Mr. Carter get teleported up to the top of the timing board and then back down and then up and then down and then up and down. He is on the hard tires, as he did box already, so he will stay out effectively on this safety car and rejoin, as we have a field full of medium and hard tire runners.
That will have to take those tires. Can those medium tires go to the end of the race?
Oh, I don't see. It's quite hard to tell. I don't think they're going to. Maybe box the softs at the end of the race, if not another set of mediums just to play it safe. Traction is obviously needed around this Shanghai circuit.
Something needs to happen in the moment in the Red Bull garage, because they are sitting there, and poor Kersey is sitting in his car, basically waving his hand at his team going, let me go. But they're not. And that's unfortunate for him. He's retired from the session. I no doubt there was definitely an issue right there on that one, because that's one of the longest pit stops I've ever seen in the Formula One game. And I guess he's just decided to, you know what, guys, if you didn't get my car out there on time, I'm jumping out and going to that, keeping my helmet on. I'm not speaking to the press for a while. That's unfortunate for him. It just looked like it's just one of those technical issues that we've been through. As Neon, shouldn't you be getting ready for your race, by the way, out there? And thank you guys for hanging with us on this. As we're seeing Alp there retiring from the session. He already had retired the Ferrari. That was the reason why the safety car come out.
Yes, Alp fortunately DNF'd down that back straight and caused this safety car. And I think we'll have one more lap to do. So we are currently waiting on a Haas to catch up to the back of the field. And hopefully our desync issues are done. I did actually see a wing fly off there in the back. I'm not sure if that was an Alpine wing or a Mercedes wing.
It's
there is
Mercedes.
a little bit of desync.
It's Carter, I think. Carter's in the box. So we'll see if they're getting... Yes, there is. It's an end plate missing, and there's the Merc team going on to the medium tires and having to replace that front wing.
I am getting a lot of desync actually currently there from Mr. Carter. He's actually floating through the track. That was interesting to see. I'm going to clip that so I can show you that one later.
You might have a chance to jump out of the lobby and back in again there, Belzy. That seemed to fix it for me, thankfully.
Yeah,
so hopefully the drivers are all okay. But yeah, give that a shot as we're going to get ready for that safety car. Should be in this lap. They are currently in turn 6. Yeah, bear with us, guys. You are all aware of this. Hopefully, it does occur as spectators, sometimes not so much for the drivers.
Yeah, I do apologize. I do see out there Mr. George Morgan has agreed with me. Who's going to, prediction for the race win? Mr. Simon Prigney, apologies.
I'm
Put
getting
my blind faith in that man.
An invitation for a lobby, so I'm not quite sure if there's a lobby restart or anything like that that's going on at the moment under the safety car. I may have to go to an intermission screen just to double confirm that, but I don't want to miss the safety car restart. If you guys out there can please confirm that with us, because the safety car is in this lap. And so far it looks pretty good for me, but we don't know what's going on specifically just yet. But we do know the safety car is in this lap. We can tell you that right now on lap 8 of 28. So we're not halfway through the race just yet. We're only the third way through the race. But we are seeing a Alfa Romeo leading from a Red Bull, leading from an Aston Martin.
Yes, as we are backing up the grid, there is the Alfa Romeo driver of Moon. And we will get the safety car restart underway, and we will figure out if we got to switch lobbies or not.
I believe the host is Mr. Vexit. Okay, Lou Smith in P7 currently running at the moment on the hard tires. But anyway, let's get ready for this race start. Look at that beautiful angle. I haven't seen that one before. Every once in a while you get that surprise camera. Look how close they are, Bells. It's game on, race on.
Yep, Moon getting off to the launch. I'm trying to get a better view here. But Simon close behind with Luca just behind him. Those three got off to a really great launch. Jake Finch, not quite the best one there in P4. But Moon will lead us into turn 1 and turn 2. as Moon actually is extending his lead right now on Simon, who is just falling back a little bit. Mr. Luca putting the pressure on the Red Bull driver there in P3. There's pressure all over the place. Obviously, Leonard putting the pressure on Jake Finch. And also, Mr. Carter showing 2/10 back of the Haas driver just behind him, or in front of him, apologies there. But Moon still leads this race. Is actually Luca getting attacked now from Jake Finch. And those two are battling it out through turn 7 and turn 8. And it will stay Luca in front as of right now.
No DRS enabled under that safety car. But yeah, Luca made a little bit of oversteer moment. We caught that on camera. The sparks are flying in the McLaren helmet.
Also, Biggles, I do apologize, but I think we are getting invited to another lobby, as I do see in the chat.
Okie dokie. So yeah, we'll go to intermission
I'm
screen.
not positive.
We'll get,
not positive. We'll keep it here for now until we get a clarification on that. Moon still leading the race. Luca dropping back just a little bit. He's got a second to the Red Bull driver in front of him as Moon and Simon have managed to pull away as Jake goes down the inside of turn 14 and will take that third position from the Alpha, or apologies, the Aston Martin driver, but there's a little bit of contact between him and Leonard on the exit as Luca drops all the way down to P5.
Luca got a bit of a tangle with Leonard that I saw on my screen anyway, and that was out of that final turn. So, well, at 14, I think it was, into 15. Sorry, somewhere along the line there. But yeah, here we go, race on. Well, we believe. So we got to double confirm what's going on in that one.
Yes, obviously, any of the mods, if you could clarify that in the chat, that would be greatly appreciated. I'm seeing now a Williams driver, Manolin, getting close to Grund in front of him, the Alpine car, battling it out for P8. Trying to deke his opponent out, faking down the inside move, maybe opening himself up to a little attack there from John just behind. But Manolin keeping the exit in his favor and will gain that little bit back as Carter actually moves past the Haas driver and put in a little bit more fight to Mr. 1 second in front of him.
Yeah, absolutely. Getting some more fight. He's got some fresh boots on there. So we are absolutely green racing conditions at the moment as Carter's really good. Well, you can see 1 second there tucked up behind John. Oh, there is actually a car off, and that is Grund. I get his name right. I don't know. Good is the Alpine driver.
I am Grund.
He's Grund. There we go. So Carter now making a run on 1 second down the back straight. You're going to see a whole bunch of these lads actually tucking up right there using that toe. No DRS just enabled yet. We'll be on the next lap, and here is a run.
Carter goes down the inside there into turn 14, and he will have the inside on the exit, and that is P10. But I tell you what, 1 second fighting it back. No, he elects to sit behind as DRS has been enabled for this lap. And this should open up some more battles to see as those little medium and hard tire runners are starting to separate in terms of pace just a little bit.
Exit also putting a ton of pressure on the back of the Haas driver, Cookie, and that might have been, I think it was also an overtake that was occurring at the same time. That's generally what happens, isn't it? Down that back straight, you start to see a lot of those overtakes all at once. Only got one camera angle, doing our best. Just a backup it was confirmed, so it is all racing. So no problems with a new lobby, but it's getting close at the front here. I think it's time for Simon to really start doing something about Moon, isn't it, if he wants to look at a race win here on lap 11.
Yeah, he's 4/10 down coming into turn 9 and 10 as he will have the DRS for that back straight as long as he keeps it close and tucked in behind the Alfa Romeo driver. I think we might see some overtakes down this back straight now that DRS has been enabled. And Simon actually getting a great launch out of turn 13. A little bit slower than Moon, but he does have, I believe that is the toe from Moon. The DRS has been activated. Will Moon defend this position? No, he elects not to, and that looks to be P1 for the Red Bull drive. And Simon has a big lock up there in a turn 14, but he keeps the position.
In the background as well, looked like the Alpine driver was going to make a run. Let's see on Jake. So textbook, it's very, very hard to defend, isn't it? But Moon's going to come back right now. Absolutely come back. Look at the exit speed he had, but now he's going to have to back off and take the multiple lines you can take through these really tight corners. It's getting tighter and tighter and tighter as this championship is definitely getting tighter. And we lost 1 second.
There is a Haas off as well as 1 second, unfortunately retired. I believe that was Mr. Cookie in the Haas. I don't see any wing damage out of the Haas car, so it should still be going, but that is unfortunate for the Williams man.
You could see the car just on that turn 1. Pretty off the racing line. Not quite sure if that will cause another safety car or just a local yellow. They should be able to get that car removed. They're very efficient here in China. Leonard now catching the back of Jake, who's falling a little bit. 1.8 seconds down the road there from that battle at the front.
Yeah, Moon and Simon have managed to pull away. They have the little DRS train going. We might see some more overtakes out of these two. But Leonard, the Alpine, trying to get by the McLaren, and he will have the dibs on the first car in the DRS train, while the first car behind the man that doesn't have the DRS. So he will get that massive speed advantage. We'll see if Leonard can maneuver his car past the McLaren down the straight as he's got it wide open. He goes down to the inside. And that will be a clean P3 for Leonard, getting by Jake Finch.
Absolutely fantastic. It's going to be confident in those brakes, isn't it? You hit the stop pedal and just hope the car stops completely, doesn't lock up. There are a lot of lockups actually into that turn, as we're seeing Luca. A little bit of a understeer moment. There's some of the warnings are coming in, but you don't see, believe it or not, touch wood on that one. 13 of 28 we are on lap, and Jake's trying to come back. No penalties just yet from these fantastic drivers.
Yeah, I thought there was a penalty there at the very start. I'm not positive. It could have been one of those gentlemen that have retired, unfortunately, for those guys. But yes, no penalties as of yet. This is a clean race. I saw there Cookie getting by John TF1 for that P10 position, as I believe that Mercedes driver is falling back just a little bit from the Haas car.
So just got to confirm at the moment what's going on with a lot of these drivers out there. So Simon leading from Moon, from Leonard, and from Jake that we're on board with. I've got a company of both those Aston Martins behind. As Vegsit, okay, Luke Smith is a little bit behind. We're seeing another local yellow.
Oh.
That is for, I think that's, it's for our Alpine driver back there as he gets back up the pace, I think. Yes, he is. So no damage. All good. Get back onto it. Crucial points in this very tight championship right now. So you can see 12 drivers now remaining in this race. You want to be able to just bring the car home and get some points. It's going to make all the difference in about 3 to 4 rounds time when we get close to the very last race of the season here for PSGL F3.
Yeah. Yeah, these cars are starting to separate just a little bit. We can see there's Simon still leading from Moon, and we got Leonard at Jake and Luca in a little 3-car battle just down the way a little bit, as Jake is closing it so tight on Leonard, and he is right on the rear end coming through turns 1 and 2 that is, and into turn 3 now. Light lockup, not really a lockup. I think that tire is actually off the ground. Is Jake going to be able to put the pressure on Leonard and maybe send a move down the inside? I don't believe so. Into this hairpin of turn 6. No, he will not. These 3 stay in place, at least for this set of turns.
Yeah, we'll go on board with the Aston Martin driver of Lucas, so he gets a bird's eye view. He gets a front row view of this battle between P3, P4, and obviously Mr. Luca is in P5. So any mistakes that these two drivers make up ahead, Luca will take that one any time of the day. But there it is. It's going to be all about those exit speeds coming up to these important corners here as you're going through this very twisty section of 12-13. And that's the one you want to get right. The exit is crucial out of here, isn't it? Absolutely important, because you're going to be under massive attack from that DRS down this very long straight.
Yeah, obviously being that front car, you have the advantage of not having that dirty air really affect you on that exit and causing that understeer. But I think Jake Finch, he might get close enough to send a move down the inside. Is he going to? No, he will stay behind. A little bit of contact there from the McLaren driver, pushing the Alpine just a little bit. That allows Jake to get close. But he will keep that position, at least for right now. Can we see a fight down into turn 1? As Luca actually, unfortunately, just picks up a 3-second time penalty. And we see Jake now going to the inside, and he will get in front of Leonard. And that is a P3 for the McLaren driver.
That was absolutely amazing overtake. Is that because the tires, well, they're all similar in tires, you can see there at the moment. This is going to be where it's going to come into Luca's play, although unfortunately Luca was one of the first ones to pick up that corner cutting penalty, so we did kind of curse it, but it did take halfway through the race for it to occur. So it would be absolutely fantastic if we get one of those races where we don't have to really calculate all the math and work out the penalty situation and just have good wheel-to-wheel racing. as we're on board with Luca. Seeing this battle once again continue between these two drivers. Vexit starting to catch up a little bit there on Carter. Moon's dropping a little bit back from the Red Bull. So thank you very much for everybody tuning in as well out there. It's been a little bit quiet in the chat, but trust me, it's not quiet on track right now. It's good wheel-to-wheel racing.
Yeah, this nice little 3-car battle for P3 has proven excitement. As we can see there, Matthew saying that the safety car may have saved this race, and yes, it very well may have, as Leonard now dips behind the McLaren driver. We're going to see another overtake as that DRS has been activated, but can the Aston Martin, Luca, can he pull a James Bond move out and get the position down into turn 14? He gets a little bit loose as Jake closed that door extremely quickly. And unfortunately, Luca falling back just a little bit. He will remain inside the DRS zone, so we will have it down this main straight leading into turn 1. Can Jake even fight back? No, he decides not to.
I was on board with Luca, and he had to take invasive action to avoid absolutely smashing into the back of the McLaren. So there was a little bit of contact, but hopefully no damage. And that's what happens when you go 3 into 1. That tends to happen. Vexit's now slowly starting to catch that Moon. It was getting pretty close. Let's see if Moon's going to do anything soon on that back straight. But we'll go back to Luca there for a second, and that continuing that little resuming battle. And once again, Luca's tires are going to be coming to life a little later on this race. We don't know where those mediums are going to go to the end, right, Bells? We're not 100% sure.
I am not 100% sure on that one. I haven't raced China enough in this game to really get a grip on those tires, as they might be losing grip very soon. Luca still hanging on in this DRS train, and that is exactly what he wants to do, especially on those hard tires, because yes, like you said, they will keep that grip for longer periods of time. And actually, Luca doing a great job of keeping up with the McLaren boy. He might be able to make a move down into the braking zone, as he is gaining just a little bit of time on the McLaren in front of him. We see him move down into turn 14. No, he elects to stay behind, and these 3 cars will keep that position for now.
They're going to keep us entertained at least. Thank you very much, everybody, for keeping us entertained in the YouTube world. Hope you are enjoying this fantastic F3 race. We've had little issues, obviously. The safety car has definitely saved it, as Matthew had mentioned out there. That's always, safety car does save the race and definitely spice things up. They are pretty close. You can see that at the moment. I'll show you the gap to the leader too. So you're going down to John TF1, 33 seconds away from the leader. That's just a little bit shy of a pit stop, which is 22 seconds. So if anybody boxes right now, they're going to be out of the points. That's how close it is still, as we're on lap 17 of 28. That's why these guys are some of the best drivers in the world on this planet, Mars, and Jupiter. Not quite sure about Neptune. There are some pretty quick drivers there. But at the moment, let's focus on China.
Yeah, specifically Shanghai. As all these drivers are coming around, I'm trying to keep an eye on all these battles. Of course, Simon still leading from Mood, and you got Leonard leading from Jake, and Luca fighting for that P3 position. There is a little bit of a battle between Carter and Vexit for P6.
Yeah, this is... Ooh, Carter. Oh, I think that was a desync, actually, for a second. This has caught me off, because Carter looked like he was heading into the grandstand for a second, but thankfully Carter's not. He's heading down the back straight as we go back up to that little battle, I think, as you mentioned there before, between Luca. Once again, the 3-way race that's been occurring for so many laps right now. Oh, evasion actions once again from Luca. He's much, much more confident on the brakes. However, he's got to be very, very careful. He doesn't lose a front wing right now on the back of that McLaren.
Yeah, obviously you don't want to lose that front wing. There was a Mercedes getting a little bit loose, and that is, I believe, Carter trying to keep in front of Vexit. But when you lose that wing, especially so close to the end of the... Actually, well, I guess at the end of the lap, he's not going to do too bad. I am looking at the stream, Biggles. I do see a little bit of a lag, because I think it just fixed itself. I know that it is a little bit behind where we currently are, so I'll try to keep an eye on that. But Luca, his tires might be starting to get a little bit better than those in front of him, as he is braking just that little bit later, and he is really putting the pressure on these two.
Yeah, apologize for that stream. I just got a little bit of a message there saying it's not receiving enough information. Hopefully it'll sort itself out. I do have fiber to continue that battle that's occurring, and let me know if that is all good. John TF1, we just got a report down there, has a rear wing damage and side pod and underbody, so pretty much every damage on that car, but still in it. I think John TF1 is got to basically bring that car home. There is your graphic performance that's coming up between that battle between Luca and Jake. And you can see it so well. Currently, well, Jake's tires are about 36% in that dirty air.
Ooh, that's actually not too bad. There is 10 laps left in this race. As actually, it looks like Luca is getting so close to the McLaren. He dips down to the outside as Jake elects to defend on the inside. As actually Luca has to use the Alpine as a, well, he's got to step behind him. There's a little bit of contact between the McLaren, the Aston Martin, and the Alpine altogether. As Luca sticks to the inside through the last turn and gets actually not that great of an exit, but he still leads from the McLaren driver. Oh, and there's a little bit of contact between the McLaren and the Aston Martin, as looks like Luca still maintains that P4 position.
They're at it. They're absolutely at it. Like separating kids fighting their way in a playground, schoolyard. But luckily, they're doing it for fun here in Formula One esports, and this is great. And it's going to continue for the rest of this race, hopefully, as we're seeing something in the background of Cookie maybe losing a position. But yes, it's at it. So this is going to come into play because Luca's the one on the hard tires, whereas these other guys are the mediums. I think this might be a fantastic call for the Aston Martin because he's finding traction where these other drivers are struggling.
Yeah, and not to mention he does have that 3-second time penalty. So if he does get in front of Leonard, he's got to do his best to clear those two cars out of that 3-second time gap. And it's really getting down there on the lap time and the lap count, that is, as we are nearing lap 20 here. There is a yellow flag in sector 2. I believe that is Cookie again off at turn 8. I don't think that'll bring us a safety car, as that should just be some local yellows.
Yeah, it'll be an unhappy Gunter down there in the Haas pit garage because he's got a front wing that needs to be replaced, but he can make his way back in. A Cookie once again. In this tight battle in the championship, he's laying down some dust there as well, just to make it a bit more tricky for those other drivers. Go back to Jake and this other battle that's been resuming here for P4, P5, and P6. Well, no, sorry, and that's P3 of Lennon. And then Moon's getting pretty close at the moment. We'll keep an eye on this battle for now.
Oh, Jake and Lucas side by side going into turn 1. Jake getting a little bit of understeer there and losing a little bit of time. And I saw a little contact between Luca and Leonard, as Leonard has led this pack for the last 10 laps or so. So he's doing a great job of defending that position and making sure that he stays out in front. Not sure if Luca got any wing damage, no visible wing damage anyways, as Luca is trying to put down this pressure on the Alpine driver.
Yeah, remember in this game model now this year, you can get rear wing damage, which is the reason why John is just really struggling at the back there. We know John TF1 has pace, when all these drivers have pace. There is side pod damage that occurs, there's floor damage. You don't see it visually so much from our point of view up in the commentary box, and you guys are there watching on YouTube. However, the drivers, trust me, they feel it and they hate it. But you've got to bring the car home because points are points. Lap 20 or 28. Simon, your boy that you predicted to win this race in the Red Bull, is leading there from Moon. What do you do right now too, Mr. Belzy, as a race driver? What can Moon... Is Moon just biding his time and trying to just finding a way? They're on similar tires to get past the Red Bull driver?
Yeah, obviously when you're sitting behind, you're in the DRS zone, you're not having to use as much ERS. So he's going to be able to save that ERS a little bit more effectively than Simon, and that allows him to go for a late move, or late into the race move, that is, and really just put the pressure on Simon. Simon has been leading this race, so he's going to have a little bit less ERS to play with. And I saw there Luca, I was trying to keep an eye on that Delta. He was getting really close to Leonard.
Yeah, those guys are going to be at it. I just wanted to focus back up the front of the field there for a bit because we have to give it to Moon and Simon because they are leading the race. They don't have penalties. They do have a couple of warnings, but the biggest problem I think at the moment too would be from the Alfa Romeo of Moon is that he's on 2 warnings. And that third one is a strike. That's a 3 seconds. And that's going to be in the back of his mind as you're pushing, isn't it, Wellesley? As a driver, you want to push. You want to try to get past that car ahead. But well, if I push it a little bit too much and I get a track warning, that's 3 seconds. 3 seconds is an eternity right now in this level of racing.
Oh, obviously. Especially that car behind, you're having to deal with a lot of understeer from the dirty air. These tires are definitely starting to get worn. As actually Moon might have just dropped out of the DRS range as Simon maybe putting the pressure on Moon late into this race as we are on lap 21 getting ready to start lap 22. don't think. No, Moon actually outside of the DRS. So Simon is going to try to capitalize and take that advantage that he just gained and try to put the gap between him and the Alfa Romeo driver.
And I think Luca just got past you, exactly right. So the Aston Martin taking advantage of these tyres, but they're still at it, these guys. There's a four-way battle now because Carter's joined this party, but look at this. Bumping and grinding, elbows out here in China. That's good to see. Once again, yeah, you can see Vexit's joined the party. So this is turning into a nice little celebration there. Well, Mr. George Morgan has given Simon the biggest fan boost on the planet. Well, he's given the biggest commentator boost out there, so his prediction's coming true currently at the moment. But what prediction's going to happen for the rest of these points here, or even podiums?
Gruen pick up a 3-second time penalty, but yeah, this is really a 5-car battle for P3 now as all these guys are so close together. Carter putting the pressure on Jake now as, Luca just avoiding contact with the Alpine driver in front of him. All this battling has allowed those two cars, Carter and Vexit, to catch up to this battle, and it just got a little bit more exciting.
It got spicy. Absolutely got spicy. That's what we want. Loving it. That's what Shanghai always produces, what China does, because those massive DRS zones does it, just tucks everybody up. Hope to see this one later on in your race tomorrow there, Mr. Morgan, as well as the F2 race. It's no doubt being on currently at the moment. No doubt those guys trying to slice their way around China, just as these guys are producing a lot of those battles. And Moon and Leonard's the only one 7 seconds down the road. So it's just that 2-horse race at the front, and then this massive race as we're seeing Luca just drive completely around the outside of the Alpine, like taking candy from a baby. But you'll know on that DRS, well, what goes around comes around on the next lap.
Yeah, we'll see if Luca is going to be able to keep that position going into turn 1 and turn 2. 15 and 14, well, these are now 15-lap-old tires across the track. Well, across everybody, that is 15 laps. Luca obviously on the hard tire, so just a little bit more grip than those medium tire runners. And now staying out in front into turn 1, 2, and 3. Is this the moment where he's going to be able to pull away and create a little bit of a cushion? Because he's got 3 seconds to clear, and as of right now, he's going to drop all the way down to P7.
The crunch time is coming. There's your tire performance graphic that's come up there at the moment, and look at that. For the driver that's in P8 currently at the moment, 58% front left tire. That's going to hurt.
Oh no, it was Luca's off. And then it's a DNF from Luca, the Aston Martin driver, hard into the wall.
Oh, I didn't get to see that. Oh, we're on board. That was out of, where was that? Turn 7, another victim around there. So they're going to bring out a safety car. And that means, what are you going to do right now if you're the Red Bull? No, it won't. They said, okay, don't worry about it. We'll drag the driver out of the car later on. We'll just worry about this race. So let's get going.
Yeah, interesting to see that a Ferrari crash resulted in a safety car, but that one, I mean, he was a decent way off track, but nonetheless, this racing still continues as Leonard just gained that podium position right back, and he's got a lot of drivers behind him hungry for that. I can see their Carter as actually Jake Finch goes down the inside, maybe a little bit of side pod damage for that Alpine or the McLaren, as there's a little bit of contact there between those two, but I don't believe so as of yet. Carter putting the pressure on the McLaren driver, dipping it to the outside line, but the McLaren gets the tow from the Alpine, also going to the outside. Is there going to be any contact between these two as Jake gets the P3 spot? But no, they're still side by side around turn 2 and into turn 3. Oh, this is so close between these two. The McLaren appears to get the position as that is Jacob in the P3, but the Alpine driver Leonard dipping it back down the inside is actually Carter goes to the inside.
It's a 4-way battle. Look at this. They're exchanging these positions like telephone numbers all the time, over and over again. Christmas presents all around for you guys. Christmas cards. And so just going for it. Jake, Leonard, Vexit, and Carter all in this party. And while they're taking advantage, look at those tires. It's only Vexit, aka Luke Smith at the moment, who's climbed his way back too after a very poor qualifying session. Started in P15, currently at the moment running with the big guns at P5. But this is going to come down to the wire, isn't it, really? Who's going to save that battery and get that massive DRS advantage in the last couple of laps to cross the line and gain as many points as you can? And maybe perhaps try to steal this one, not stealing it away from Simon or Moon. Expect to see something between those two drivers happening as we're down the back straight. Desync issues there, you can see on the stream, but hopefully all good for the drivers.
Jake is in a position that he might actually lose 2 places as Vexit pulls off a nice little maneuver as we are 3 wide going into turn 16. Vexit backs out just a little bit, electing to try to get the run out of turn 16, dipping it down to the outside line as the McLaren leads these cars away, but the Alpine dropping all the way to P6 as he loses out a massive amount of spots. And that is unfortunate as there's a Mercedes that went wide. That is Mr. Carter, unfortunately dropping down to P6. The Alpine getting a position back. And this battle continues to rage on. Jake Finch leading the way out of these guys. He's fighting for that 3rd and final podium position while all of these guys are. Vexit just behind the McLaren, and then an Alpine car of Leonard and the Mercedes of Carter Lundy. Apologize, but also somebody in the background, Mr. Manolin, appears to be getting just a little bit closer as this group has fallen down to 10 seconds behind that lead battle.
Tires are struggling for these drivers. Carter's tires at the moment getting close to 60%. So while they're battling at this tooth and nail at ridiculously close speeds, you can see a front wing. No doubt some of these drivers might even have little bits of damage and stuff like that we're not really aware of, but they are going to go at it. And on top of it, not just to mention with dirty air and trying to keep wheel-to-wheel action, they've got to try to maintain those tires just for a handful of more laps. Fantastic racing. This is absolutely the reason why we love F1. We've not given up on the game. These drivers haven't given up on the game. And PSGL certainly hasn't given up on this. Great racing.
Yeah, and obviously Vexit not giving up on trying to stay behind the McLaren as he gets P3 now. And he will lead the cars into the final turn. This nice little battle continues to rage on. I see there Manolin is gaining just a little bit of time, but probably not enough to make a dent and get into this battle late into this race. But Vexit now leading through turns 1 and 2 with Jake just behind him. Leonard still sits P5 with Carter Lundy P6. You got Manolin there in P7. Johan, Grund, and John will round out the rest of this field as of right now. And of course, you can't forget about Simon and Moon up there battling it out for the lead. Still 11 seconds in front of this battle right now.
Yeah, we'll go to that for a second because we're getting down to the business end. Well, only just a handful of laps. As we mentioned about Moon's time to shine is now. It's a bit of, well, obviously a bit of sunshine from the moon is what you really need, isn't it? Is it going to be a full moon or is it going to be a half moon? I'm trying to do those puns and not coming quick away roll. But it is sunshine here in China. And he needs to try to get something if he wants to steal that one away from Simon. We do know Simon has a commentator's boost out there from Mr. George Morgan. John TF1's got a box. We know he had damage. That's the report we had. But that's a good on John for sticking with that because he's got to get a point. That's the main thing. I think John's got to try to just switch on softs on. And you know what? Go for a fastest lap and get some points if you can. Even with that damage, may very well be possible because especially these drivers, look how old those tires are. So I had to say John could steal that one away. Yeah, what's going to happen at Moon on board on the penultimate lap there, Belsy. There's the tire data coming up. So you can see right now Moon's tires are a little bit worse. You can see 67% front left. So Simon's tires are a little better. Is this his chance to pounce? And what's he going to do, Bells?
Yeah, it's really hard to, well, get the car around the track with that much tire wear. And of course, we still got another lap left in this race after this one. So he might be worried a little bit about pushing just a little too much, maybe even possibly getting into that puncture territory. Now it's going to be hard. He's got to make sure he's got the traction out of that final, well, I don't want to call it the final turn, but turns 12 and 13. You want to get the power down and get as much of an exit as you can. Line yourself up for that speed down the straight and continue with the ERS usage and just try to get by, maybe throw some fake moves down the inside, something, try to force Simon into a mistake. But it's going to be extremely hard for this Alfa Romeo driver.
But it's good. You got to try. Exactly. And also on top of it, well, both of those drivers are nursing 2 warnings, just to let you know. So while they're struggling to keep this car on the track with those tires that are pretty much, should be thrown into the used pile currently at the moment, no doubt will be, they've got to try to basically play psychological games as well. So Moon wants to try to force Simon into a mistake and get a penalty. It could be all over. Simon is going, I'm going to try to win this race for the Red Bull and can keep Mr. George Morgan and yourself, Bellsy's I'm just seeing Moon go a little bit crazy. Yeah, he has gone a little bit crazy out of that corner, the final corner. He's put the pedal to the metal, and unfortunately, the car is not stuck. The tyres are not gripping. He's lost a lot of time. Simon's now, thank you very much there. Belzy, you will get that prediction. We'll go back to that battle, I think, in the midfield that we've been seeing for a lot of laps now.
Yeah, of course, there is still one more lap to go as Vexa has started to pull away from these guys, battling it out now for P4's Leonard. Dipped it down the inside of turn 14 and got that position from the McLaren. But this is a three-way battle for P4 as Vexa has started to pull away. Now a 2-second gap. Those hard tires are really coming in clutch for the Aston Martin driver late in this race. Unfortunately, his teammate was P3, crashed out a little bit ago and not in this battle. But still.
Vexit needed to do a little bit earlier, I think. He got held up too much on traffic to really take advantage of those hard tires. Because look at this, shaving time left, right, and center. But unfortunately, time is not on his side as we're on the last lap. So he's just going to be looking for that podium, and that'd be fantastic, obviously, for the driver of Luke Smith that started in P15. But who wants the P4? That's the one that's up for grabs right now. Leonard and Jake and Carter are all battling it out there. So Simon will win this race. We'll probably definitely go over to that Red Bull driver in a second. He's in turn 14. We will actually, Belzy, give you the honor there, calling the Red Bull. You predicted this, man. Go ahead.
Yes, the Red Bull driver now has one turn left to go. That is turn 16, and Simon Peregni will win the Chinese Grand Prix here in Shanghai. Great race, 28 laps from that Red Bull driver with Moon all over his rear end. And that is a nice prediction, nice faith in that Red Bull team. Jake Finch will get the 4th position. Clear Leonard and clear Carter. Manolin into P7. Johan, I believe that is, in P8. Grun will be P9, and we'll see if maybe John can pull out a cheeky little fastest lap here on the final lap. He is on the soft tires, but he was dealing with a lot of damage. He is nearing his way.
I don't know. I don't think he can, unfortunately. The fastest lap will go to Mr. Leonard. As you mentioned, he hasn't got enough pace with that damage. It's too much of the damage. But his pride's not, and points are there for John TF1. But don't take it away, obviously, from that Red Bull driver. An outstanding drive. He's done everything right. He started in pole. He's finished in first. The only thing that was stolen away from him was that fastest lap from the Alpine driver. But making those 21 lap tires on those mediums towards the end, keeping your focus, keeping the car on track, and those battles, brilliant, brilliant drive.
Yes, just a tremendous drive from that Red Bull driver. And he made Mr. George Morgan proud. Actually, I just saw that Mr. John, I think, just took the fastest lap.
Oh, did he get it? Well, we'll see in a second, won't we? As the fists are flying there for the Red Bull driver. Leonard will get that driver of the day. I'm actually quite surprised. Well, he got that and not Vexit, because Vexit was 15th. But, yeah, well, Cody's decided. And you bow yourself to your many, many fans here for the Red Bull driver. What a brilliant drive. Point at your fans and celebrate that trophy, because that was a fantastic drive, even amongst everything else that we had experienced, didn't we? And keeping you guys as commentators very happy for your predictions.
Yeah, obviously, a little bit of issues that we had, but it turned out to be a great race in the end. Simon taking the W after starting first on the grid. Moon will be the 2nd position with Vexit rounding out that podium spot. Yes, all the way from P15. Jake Finch taking that 4th position, followed by Leonard, by Carter, Manolin, Johan, Grun, and John. Those were all your finishers today, and they all will get points. And yes, I was correct. John did pull out that fastest lap, a 33.1 out of that Mercedes driver. Luca, Cookie, 1 second, Kersey, Alp, and JSC all unfortunately DNF'd, but they were still with us in the end in our hearts.
Absolutely fantastic. Good on John. Sticking with it, getting some points towards the end, and you know, that even with that damage, that's going to be fantastic for the Merc driver, because there is a championship. This is one race, so things happen. We'll go to an intermission. We'll see if we can go herd some of these drivers for a quick chat, and we'll be back in a second. We're back. We won't be doing any views, guys, because there is some... Well, we'll let those guys actually relax after that great, fantastic finish to the race. And we've got an F2 race currently going on at the moment, and F1. Yeah, Belsy, mate, it's a privilege to have you come over here as a guest appearance there on PSGL. We will have our regular commentators next week. How'd you find that?
Oh, I mean, after, well, I would say the first 5-6 laps, there was that little bit of a desync issue, but after the safety car, tremendous racing. Obviously, the 3-way battle for P3 that turned into the 5-way battle for P3. You got the battle up front between Simon and Moon, with Simon ultimately prevailing there. My little prediction. You know, hats off to that man in the Red Bull car. But just an all-around a great race. There was so much action, especially between the Aston Martin, the Alpine, and the McLaren driver, Jake Finch, Vexit, Carter, Leonard, all of them. I mean, tremendous drive from all of them. One, no damage. There might have been a little bit, but to keep that much action going on and to make sure all of those are fighting, unfortunately, we lost Luca about halfway through the race. But still, great respect out of all the drivers that completed, well, that actually raced here today. I don't want to say completed because we did lose a few drivers.
Yeah.
Just all around a great race. Biggles, what were your thoughts?
Provisional standings, yeah, exactly, as well. Carter from P14 up into P6 there. Vexit as well, don't forget. He got himself the OK Luke Smith from P15 up into P3. They're grabbing and hurling as many points as they possibly can right now because it makes all the difference. As Tato said, well done, Simon. OK, Numsy. Well, Numsy may very well be leading the championship right now and steal that one away from 1 second, which is the driver that I predicted. But unfortunately, the Williams driver didn't have the days of days today. But he's got an next opportunity that will be in Portimao in Portugal, which will be our next race. And I'll show that calendar real quick before we summarize it and let you guys go over to the F2 race, obviously, if you're not already tuned into that one.
Yeah, tremendous racing from all of these gentlemen. And it does look like Namzi will take the lead in that championship. Leading into Portugal, we have seen a couple of races on Portimao. Provide some great action, and I cannot wait to see how the end of the season plays out.
Roller coaster of a track. Absolutely roller coaster of a track. It's almost like a Six Flags Disneyland, but with 4 tires, hopefully attached to the car. And attached. That has been it for myself there. Thank you very much there for the guest appearance there, Doubles. I know you usually are in United States of America, so with different time zones, working and all that sort of jazz. We'll have our regular commentators back next week. I need a breather. We're going to have, obviously, Mr. Daniel and Scruffy, the usual suspects, bringing you this fantastic league. The game tries to stop us, but it doesn't. It doesn't stop the drivers. It doesn't stop us, and it doesn't stop PSGL. Thank you, everybody, for also making sure it, tuning in, and thank you very much. So stay safe, of course. Take care and have a good evening.